Hello everyone, welcome to this video series on Java Technologies Lab. So in this video I am going to demonstrate program 3 which is to demonstrate two-tier client server model. So first let's create a dynamic web project. Go to file menu, new, and click on dynamic web project. So let's give some project name. Let's give test servlet. So this can be any name that you can give, and click on finish. Okay, so the project is created. I told you in the previous video, the src folder and particularly the web app folder is very important. And now let's see why. Okay, now right click your project name, that is right click test servlet, new. So first let's create the html file. Okay, let's give the name of the file as index.html. So actually the name can be anything, but for simplicity I am giving index.html. And simplicity and for maintaining consistency across all the programs, I am giving index.html. So click on finish. Okay. So you can see under the web app folder, our file is created, HTML file. So let's remove this demo code and let's paste the actual code. So as you are seeing here, the title of the web page is given as Hello Servlet, and here we are creating something new called form tag. So we are using form tags, right? This is the opening form tag and this is the closing form tag. So how do you describe a form, or what is the use of a form tag? So in general, if you take a web page, for example, if you want to accept any user input in the web page, we will use form tag. So what is meant by user input is, for example, you want to accept a line of text. Okay, for example, you want to take the name of the user, or you want to take the register number of a student, or if you want to take the email of a particular person. For that, we will use form tags. Form tags, okay. And in the opening form tag, two attributes are important. One is action attribute, another one is method attribute. So action attribute tells, so when a user clicks on something in a form, where the control should go. I mean, to which other page the control should go. So in this case, so there is another control I am using in the form, which is a submit button. Okay, so all the user controls inside the form tag are displayed using the input tag. Okay, so a form contains different user controls. So the user controls are displayed using the input tag. Okay, and in the input tag we will use the type attribute where we specify the type of the user control. Okay, like you can see here, there are different values for the input tag like text, password, checkbox, radio, submit, reset, file, etc. Okay, so in these different things I have provided submit. So this is going to create a submit button which says invoke servlet. Okay, so the button is going to display the text invoke servlet. So when I click this submit button in the web page, what should happen? That is specified in the action attribute. Okay, so here what I am saying is, whenever someone clicks on the submit button, the control should go to hello servlet. Okay, actually you can give any other thing here, not only hello servlet, you can give another html page also, like um, next.html or something, abc.html or whatever. In our example I have given hello servlet. Okay, and there are different http methods called as get, post, etc. You can see here. So there is get and there is post. Okay, so if you are interested in finding what is get and post, you can go to google and search for what is the difference between get method and post method. So here the method I am using is get. So get specifies the type of request. There are two types. One is get, another one is post. Okay, I think now everything is clear regarding the code in this web page. Okay, so I am once again repeating the use of form tag is to get user related information from a web page. Okay, to get user related information from a web page. And form tag has generally two attributes. One is action, another one is method. So action attribute specifies when a user clicks on something in the form, a control, whatever, if it is a button or a link or any other thing in a form, where the control should go. Okay, that is the use of action. And the type of request is specified using method. Okay, and we are using get method. Similarly, there is post also. For example, if you write post here, this is post method. Okay, now I am writing get. Okay, right. Mm, and what is the use of input tag? So the input tag is used to display different user controls within the web page. Okay, and you can display submit button by writing type equal to submit. Okay, now second thing is we have to create this servlet. Okay, hello servlet. So you have to be careful here about the name of the servlet here. So whatever you are writing, you have to create a servlet by this name only. Okay, so let's copy this. Copy. Now again right click, project name, new. This time we are going to create a servlet. Okay, so you can leave the Java package and come to class name, and I am pasting the class name here. Okay, this one and this one should match. They should be same. Okay, and click on finish. Okay, now this is going to create a file called hello servlet. uh, yes, here it is. The file name is hello servlet.java. I told you in the previous video, no, servlet means it's a Java class. So here is the Java class which extends another interface called, sorry, uh, it is extending another class called http servlet. Okay, so all this code is generated. I didn't do anything. So what we are going to do is we are going to remove this code, and we are going to copy paste the code that I have provided. Okay, so don't worry, all this code will be available in the video description. You can download the file and see the code. Okay, so there are four packages which are imported. One is java.io, which contains this IO exception class. Okay, and there is jakarta.servlet, which contains uh, let me see, the servlet exception class. Okay, you can see here jakarta.servlet exception. This is available in this package jakarta.servlet. And this jakarta.servlet.http package contains http servlet, http servlet request interface, and also http servlet response interface. Okay, so it contains these three things: http servlet, http servlet request, and http servlet response. Okay, now you can see it is a servlet is a simple Java class. Okay, class name. Of course, here we have to extend another class called http servlet. Okay, and there is a method inside this class. So the method name is doGet. You should not change the name of the method. It should be doGet. It's a fixed method. Okay, why we are writing doGet means because the method we have used is get method. For example, if I have written post here, then in the servlet also you should write do post. Okay, remember this. So I am changing back to get. Here also I am changing back to do get. And this do get method takes two parameters. One is the reference for HTTP servlet request, and another is a reference to HTTP servlet response. So we can call these things as request object and response object, or request reference and response reference. Okay, so we will see what is the use of request and response here. So in this case, or in this program, we have already used response. Okay, so in the previous video I have told you, no, client will send request and server will send back response. So if you want to access any information from client side, we will use this request object, and if you want to associate any information with the server response, we will use the response object. Okay, so on this object there is a method called getWriter. Okay, and this is going to give you a print writer object. So you can see here it creates a print writer object. On the print writer we have another method called write method. Okay, write method is going to just print whatever you want, you are giving as parameter. So the parameter I am giving is a string which is hello world. Okay, so remember this line. We are using the response object, which is this one. Okay, response dot get writer, which is going to give you a print writer object. On the print writer we have another method called as write method, which is going to finally display the message that you are giving. Okay, now I think I am clear with all this code, right? Now let's see the output of this. So go to index.html, click on this run, select the server, click finish. Okay, restart. Okay, so I told you index.html will display a button called invoke servlet, right? So this is the output of this one. You are creating a button, submit button, which displays the text invoke dot invoke servlet, right? So what happens when I click this button? When I click this button, it will go to hello servlet. Okay, now I am clicking this button. Now you can see in the address bar it is going to hello servlet. Okay, what is there in the hello servlet? The only thing that is there is you are printing hello world. Okay, hello world, right? So I am just telling you a basic example, but you can do much more advanced things here. For example, you can change, you can write the HTML code also, complete HTML code, like HTML head tags. Within the head we can have title tags. You can display something like sample servlet, close the title tag, close the head tag. Okay, now let's begin the body tag. Okay, now within the body tag we are displaying hello world, and let's display this in a heading tag. So h1 is level 1 heading. Okay, if you want to display heading in a web page, we will use h1. There is h1 to h6 tags, so I am using level 1. Okay, and let's close the body, and let's finally close the HTML. Okay, now see here what is happening. This is actually a Java file, right? Hello servlet.java. Within Java, uh, within Java code, we are writing HTML code, right? So remember this point. So what are we doing in servlets? In Java code, we are embedding HTML code. Okay. Now let's see the output of this. Let's again go to index.html, run, run on server, finish, restart. Okay. The server is restarting. Right. Now if I click on this button, yeah, now you can see, right? Hello world in bigger and bolder text. This is because we are using h1 tags. Okay. So like this, try out yourself by using different HTML tags, whatever you want to do. But for our example, I am just writing only hello world, which is kind of boring, but that's enough for this. Okay, hello world. Now see here, whenever you do some changes and you click save button, you will get this console. Okay, the server is just making some changes. Don't worry about that. You just minimize it and see here. The web app contains the HTML file, and your Java folder contains the servlet file, which is this hello servlet.java. Okay, so this folder is important for us. Okay, so Java contains the servlets, and web app folder contains the HTML. And one more important thing is this web information file. So the very important file is web.xml. So XML means extensible markup language. So let's open this file web.xml. So take some time. Okay, now it opened, right? So at the bottom there is something called design view and there is something called source view. So if you see source view, this is how source will look. So this is XML. Okay, so maybe you are thinking this is somewhat similar to HTML, right? So exactly, XML is also similar to HTML. Okay, but we are not going to learn about XML. We are going to look at only some things. The important things for us is this servlet tag and this servlet mapping tag. Okay, so first you look at the servlet tag. It is saying the name of the servlet is hello servlet. Okay, and actually the servlet class is also hello servlet because we have given the same name. Okay, actually the servlet name and servlet class name can be different, but for simplicity we have given the same names. Okay, and whatever servlet name is given here, the same should be given here also, servlet name, which is under servlet mapping. And the URL pattern will say what is the mapping between the servlet name and what is the URL text that should be displayed. Okay, you might be thinking what is all these things. For example, let me show you. uh, let's change this hello servlet to next.html. Now see this is very interesting, right? Now URL pattern is changed from hello servlet to next.html. Of course there will be a slash here. Now let's go to index.html, and instead of this hello servlet, you can give next.html. Okay, right, fine. Now let's run the application. Server, finish, restart. Mm, okay, click the invoke servlet button. Now we got the output, but actually in the address bar you can see it is not hello servlet, it is next.html. Okay, as a developer you are creating the application, you will know that even though it is showing HTML, but it is servlet, right? But the client will not know what technology you are using. The client will see this is HTML web page and thinks that this is HTML code only, but it is not. Actually, we are using servlets. Okay, so this is how your URL pattern will help you. Okay, if you don't want your clients or users to know which technology you are using, you simply change the URL pattern. Okay, you just leave it as it is, like hello servlet. Okay, so this is the importance of this web.xml file. Okay, let's close the web.xml, and since I changed it back, you have to give hello servlet. Okay, so that's it about this program. By using this, we have demonstrated uh, two tier client server model. So this is tier one, which the client is seeing, right? And when I click this, the request is going to server, and the server is sending back this response, which is hello world. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you.